these well-known songs in the back catalogue. And I spoke to Paul earlier this week.
Quality as a human being to see the
Oh, that one was a quieter slurp than the last one. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's some horses clip-clopping outside my window. This is the Ace Agenda, where I talk all things about asexuality. And in this episode, I wanted to talk about sex, relationships, and all of that beautiful stuff that keeps coming up because it's important. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and I. Let's talk about da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, life complete. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Dun, 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 dun. You win again. It's just gone from one song to the Bee Gees. When I come out as asexual, or when I tell people I'm asexual, a lot of the time things surrounding sex or relationships come up quite a lot when people want to question my asexuality. Not in terms of, are you asexual? Are you sure you're asexual? It's they're curious as to why I don't feel sexual desire, and also how do I feel when presented with a sexual partner. And sometimes this sort of situation in this scenario can be quite positive, but it can also become quite negative in terms of what people ask. I think I always state that the positives is that people are sort of wanting to know more about it, and so they ask me how I feel when it comes to sex and what I'm comfortable with, what I'm not comfortable with, how do I feel about it. And people are really cool and really chill about it, and because I answer honestly and I answer truthfully, and it's amazing and it's great. But then there are some questions, or there are certain situations that make me feel a bit inadequate, make me feel like I'm broken again, which is a very sort of numb place to be in. One person that knew about my asexuality asked me once if I was okay and if I was open to an open relationship with another guy, because she knew I was heteromantic. In that, she stated, was I comfortable with having an open relationship so that I could have what I wanted with a guy and what I was comfortable with, but then if he wanted to get his rocks off and get his socks off in terms of the sexual department, then he could go and find another woman to do that with. And a lot of things came up. First of all, I feel I'm very monogamous. I'm a monogamous person, therefore I am not so open to sort of open relationships as such, which I think is okay. Also, it just gave me this idea that all men are sex-craved beasts, and all men want to do with anyone that they fall in love with or are attracted to. They just want to have sex and they just want to do it. I don't think to put all men into that category of, oh, men just want sex. Nah, they don't want anything else, they just want sex. I don't know, it just feels like that's all they care about, when I think men are just as complex as we are, and it's not a case of men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I think there are a lot of similarities between us, you know? I don't think men are always eager to have sex, and it's sad because our world is so focused on sex, and it's great that we're saying that sex is normal and sex is okay, but we still also have to understand that there are people who just don't have sex in relationships, whether they are asexual, demisexual, grey asexual. You know, not everyone is Z or allosexual. But then there comes the other part of coming out as asexual, and it's the people who assume they know your identity and they know you, what you like about sex and sexual conversation, but they haven't asked you and they haven't questioned you about how do you feel. Assuming something about someone's identity might mean that you get the wrong end of the stick, and therefore we haven't expanded our horizons when it comes to learning about different identities and how each person is different. I always state how every person's body is different, how every person's mind is different, when it comes to mental health and body confidence and body positivity and anorexia recovery. We also have to understand that perhaps everyone's identity, whether that is gender or sexual identity, might go to certain stereotypes, but also there might be other parts of their identity that you necessarily didn't know because you didn't ask. And asking and being curious is an okay thing. We don't need to know everything about like the community that we're in. You can ask questions so long as they're not like extremely intimate, and if that person is comfortable. It depends what sort of friendship or platonic relationship or romantic relationship as well that you have with that person. I have had a lot of people who have assumed a lot of stuff about my sexual identity, and it means that they've already decided in the back of their head and in the back of their mind that certain conversations are just not for me. And they've decided if they're talking about sex, people might turn their back towards me because they think she doesn't need to hear about this, she doesn't get it, she doesn't understand, when actually I'm very sex curious. When I say I'm sex repulsed, I state I'm sex repulsed in my own relationship, so in my own romantic relationship. I don't think I will ever have sex with another guy, and that's honestly okay, and that's fine with me and everything. But when it comes to people talking about sex and their sexual relationships and their sexual stories, if they want to talk about that stuff with me, I'm very sex curious because I don't feel this stuff and I don't know what it's like. So to hear someone have an anecdote about it will be very enlightening to me. And because I state that I'm what I call sex curious, a lot of people get very confused by this and they need a little bit more explanation. And because people don't ask questions and they get confused about it, they does make you feel, and because they isolate you from certain conversations that they're having, it makes you feel a little bit broken and a little bit like, yeah, we've accepted you, but you're still not allowed in our conversation. And I don't think they mean it that way, it just comes across that way. And it can make you feel very fragmented, it can make you still feel broken, and it can make you feel not normal. And we've already, in the asexual community, know the phobia that is ace erasure and in our community, in and out of our community. And so it's sadly something that we are not a stranger to. It's not a feeling we're strange to. And it's really, it makes you feel really sad that this is something that happens. I suppose with this, I don't really have any answers apart from just allow yourself to ask questions and be open to different ways and different branches of asexuality. Asexuality is just the branch of the tree, and the branches and the leaves are all the different ways and all the different romantic attractions, and each person will be very different in their journey and in their story. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would like to, you can give it a like at the bottom here, and if you want to hear more about asexuality or mental health or body positivity, then do please click the subscribe button down below. Also, if you resonate with any of this as an asexual person, then please do leave me a comment down below so that we can have a chat about it. Or even if you don't, just sort of, you can ask questions within reason about certain topics, and I'll be more than happy to respond down below in the comment section. And I'm sure that maybe there'll be some other people who are asexual as well who would be more than happy to respond to your questions. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye!